No, no.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And today we are going to
It's
have a
Wednesday.
topic that came from a viewer question. And then
Yes.
we're going to go through sales. We
Thank
have
you for your comments.
12 items total that sold on eBay. So it was a pretty good day.
Is
A
that
lot of
including
sales.
the ones we sold yesterday?
No, not including
Okay.
those. So we'll add those as well. But before we start, my name is Aaron.
I'm Amber.
We are
Hello.
full-time resellers. We go live Monday through Thursday to
Yes.
talk about reselling items that we sold and typically find a topic.
Yep.
So for today, we're going to start with the question. So the question that came from Christy Rose 2289. Thank you so much for
Thank
watching.
you, Christy.
The question is basically a two-parter, so I want to split
Okay.
it up into two parts. But the question was, what did you do to make daily sales? And she said that she knows about listing daily and being consistent.
Right.
So that's why I brought the title of so you're wanting to do more,
Right.
because ultimately you're going to have to create more from somewhere in your reselling business in order to extract more from it. So you can start with time, and I would say you could either just start by writing things down and making a list and trying to be honest with yourself about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, or you can formulate it in your head and just think about it for a while to see what more looks like to you. But for me, you would start with time. So let's say, for example, right now you have a full-time job. You're doing maybe 3 hours during the week when you're working, and then on the weekends you put in another 8. So you're putting only effectively 11 hours into your business. So if you're wanting to make more out of your reselling business, you're going to probably have to find more
Add more
time in
time.
order to make that work. And maybe that's just making a commitment to where, Monday and Thursday you're going to do 2 hours. Thursdays you're going to do an hour, Tuesdays you're going to do an hour. You're going to take off Fridays so you can have some work-life balance, and then maybe you're doing 10 hours on the weekend, and now you just extracted some extra time. That's one step. Listings. So the number of listings are going to have to increase. That's part of the process is you're going to have to find ways to find more listings. So that's, are you going to expand the categories that you're picking
Sourcing.
from and sourcing? So, I think back to when we officially started
Right.
doing
We
this.
started like when we first got married.
Yeah, where I was sourcing just video games.
Only video games.
And that was it, like nothing. And we did
Blinders
that.
on to everything else, just games.
And
That's
it was like 10 years of nothing but
Yes.
video games. But the good thing is we created the habits that make it to where you can have a successful reselling business. And initially we started with just sourcing garage sales, and that was
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So that was another point is sourcing is like, where do you source from? So maybe you start to expand and have additional places of sourcing for yourself.
Yeah.
So maybe you do the garage sales on Saturday. Maybe you can find ways to garage
Go
sale on a
Fridays.
Friday. Maybe you can find a good thrift store that you can frequent on a regular basis. I think that's a good place to take swings too.
Try to
and
find like the mom and pop thrift stores.
if you can.
Yeah.
It's
They're
not
always
easy,
available.
but that's probably the best way to go about it. And so I think ultimately you're going to have to step back and say, okay, where can you go to
Right.
source more items? So for us, I'll share our story on that. So obviously we were sourcing video games, and that was entirely of what we
Just
were
garage sales.
structured off of at the beginning.
Yeah.
So when we started to say more, what does more look like? Well, that would be DVDs, that would be books, that would be
Shoes.
Blu-rays, that would be, and then we started looking at what else do we have interest in. So for
Right.
me, it was golf.
Yeah.
So golf was probably our number 2 category for a long time, and I learned that knowledge largely because my best friend is a big golfer. And so I talked to him about it a little bit. I gained some knowledge of what to look for.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just take swings and
So
you
that
learn.
added another category.
So that added a whole nother category, and then you can sprawl off to that. So it's like baseball bats, gloves,
yeah.
sporting
goods.
sporting goods, and that stuff's already interesting to me.
Yeah.
So you kind of start to delve into what it looks like. So then it was easy to shift into electronics, and now digital cameras are appealing to me. And you just start to expand as much as you can into the categories to where you have the knowledge, and then doing the research on those items as well. So initially I was doing a lot, and you were as well, watching a lot of reseller content to try to expand some of our knowledge on a lot of these bases. Because a lot of this stuff is not stuff that we know anything about.
Right.
So, and I think too humbling yourself and being like, you know what, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And we do have,
Just like with like the, I like clothes, but I'm not like a high-end clothes person, so I don't know a lot of that.
Hmm.
So it was taking swings on those, and then I dabbled into the purses, which is where I got burned, and then I'm like, I'm backing away from that fire.
Yeah.
So you just kind of know your boundaries.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I gave you enough blame for that, by the way.
The Louis Vuitton, man.
Yeah.
It just eats me up. It's so bad.
No, I'm just kidding.
But you know, it pays off. Like, we were just talking about this past weekend. There were things that we passed on this weekend that previously we would have purchased, but because we remember those times when we got burned on those items, it's still teaching us now, like still saving us money, even though it cost us that up front. Like it's paying off now to not rebuy those things.
Yeah.
So even if you get a bad buy, like just learn from it, and like now you know that's one more area that you've grown in.
Yeah.
So what else you got?
So, part two of the question: was there a time when you felt like you were over the hill or
Yeah.
over the hump?
Yeah.
So obviously we talked about how we started in 2022 in April. We started ramping up. We started having storage. We started, and I will say too, if you're wanting to do more, you want to make sure that it's incremental. You don't want to
Right.
go too fast too soon.
Yeah.
I feel like to some degree we might have went a little too fast too soon.
Yeah.
Like we were teetering on the too fast too soon side of things, but you do make mistakes. You learn from mistakes.
And there's sacrifices that you make too. Like
Yeah.
we are sacrificing our entire house
Yeah.
for storage.
It always comes back to the house. I swear.
Always.
It always.
But it's so true. Like we even like moved rooms. Like we came into this room as our bedroom because it's smaller, and then we could have a bigger master bedroom for storage. And I was like, I hate this. I'm not doing this. So it's just trial
I
and
didn't
error.
mind it.
No, it was terrible.
The only thing that was bad about that was having to walk from here into
Yeah,
the
we had no
master
bathroom,
bedroom.
like-
So we had to walk all the way around to get to
It's
the.
not good. But you have to be organized. Set up like a bin system, a SKU system, something, because once you can't find an item, that is so stressful.
Yeah.
So you've got to like game plan how you're going to organize.
Yeah, and I think when you're starting early on, it's a lot easier to swallow when you're going through that process. But
Yeah.
so I would say you want to focus on incremental change. When we made a focus to where we were going to expand in April, when did we feel like we finally made it? I would say probably by the end of the year, I felt pretty
feel like
good.
oh, okay.
Just because, so when I was filing
So like
taxes,
the end of last year.
no, at after
recent.
2022,
Okay.
I think we were able to show a decent profit.
Okay.
Not a lot. I think it was like
Yeah.
$10,000
Yeah.
or something like that. And being that we did that for 8 months,
Mm-hmm.
like people would say 8 months for $10,000. No, but you build like a foundation. You
Right.
start to get
Your
more
inventory is
knowledge.
also growing.
Your inventory is growing, so you have like money that's sitting in bins that
Yes.
just hasn't sold yet.
Right.
So that to be able to turn a profit for a small business in the first year, it felt really cool. We did have some inventory, obviously, because we were still having tons of video games
Mm-hmm.
left over, but it was just, it's a slow incremental growth. You don't want to make it too fast.
Yeah.
And
And we had like our bills paid down.
yeah, I think that's the other aspect of
Yeah.
it that you're going to have to do with less. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're still not at where what I was making when I was working
No.
full time. And so we're having to make sacrifices in areas, like we're not being able to invest as much as we used to.
Right.
So that's a side aspect of it. We're made even more restraining, like
The
day to
reason why
day.
we can do this without as much stress is because we prep so much on the front end with a large cushion
Yeah.
to where there's ebbs and flows with this business. Like we're not hurting. We
And
can pay our bills.
If there was a situation that came up to where it was like, all right, we got to dump $5,000
Yeah.
into a big inventory buy, I can go to
We
the
have
bank,
that.
pull that money out
Yeah.
and do it.
Yes.
I see other people that are like, I'm hurting for money, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't
wish
know
I could
how.
buy it, but yeah.
I don't know how you can live in that mindset with like this reselling
Yeah.
thing. And then this is not even talking about having access to credit. So
Mm-hmm.
if in the worst case scenario, we have access to tons of credit.
But
So
we don't really want.
we don't
do
want
that.
to, but that's part of it too, is just being out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody was looking to do reselling full time, my first advice to them would be to get out of debt. Which
And
sounds
find-
so like
Yeah,
not
I
related,
know.
but I think it's just the reality of it is you want to reduce the amount of your
Daily costs.
like your daily living
Mm-hmm.
costs to make it to where you feel a lot more free and you can make this work. Now, if you need the,
Extra money.
no, well, I'm thinking more of like what's the thing that the devil carries where it's like the
Pitchfork.
pitchfork and you need that like person that's like stabbing you in the butt to get you to move, then I mean, by all means, like you know, living that life where you feel like the pressure of you.
Some people like that. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
some
saying?
people are like
Yeah. Live
they'll
on the
wait.
edge.
They'll wait till the last minute. It's
Hmm.
like, fine, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but you know, that's the way some
I
people
work
decide.
well under pressure, I think.
Yeah, I can, but I choose not to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's a choice.
So it's definitely, you need to know, like, financially, what, do you have
Yeah,
a hair
that you have
sticking
you
out?
just have one hair that's just like
Going crazy
flailing.
there.
Yeah,
You need to know your, like, monthly expenses, like where your bills are and what
yeah,
can you cut. Like, if you want to do it full time, we don't have a TV service. We use my mom.
yeah.
Like, there's things that we just hardly ever use any kind of
Don't
TV.
perjure yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Perjure.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, there's, I mean,
No, we just don't
we
watch
don't
TV.
eat out a lot. Like, we do not have a high, like, cost of living lifestyle. We
Or
have one
we don't
car.
live in a high cost of living area
Yeah.
either. So
Right.
it really, if we made 50K, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
And
So-
I'm not saying we're thriving. We're getting by,
We're
especially.
paying the bills.
Yeah, we're paying the
We're
bills.
not adding to our savings. But,
And that's with 2 kids too.
Yes.
Keep in mind, like kids are expensive. So
so definitely financially, that's got to be settled and known. And then we use, like, my reseller Genie, which we do not get paid to advertise for them, but it is something that we have agreed, even if they raise their prices, we're going to use it because it is such a good tool to see your expenses already are coming out, what your sales are, your returns are calculated in there, and it will give you, like, your breakdown of how much you owe in taxes, and it's a weight lifted off.
and one caveat that I want to add on here is I would not quit your job if this was your situation where you're working a full-time job and you're like, you know what, I want to do
Yeah.
reselling full-time. I'm going to quit my job and we're going to make this work. No, I would say you want to build the foundation
it.
behind your business,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe you're calculating and saying, you know what, I can get by with $4,000 a month. I just turned my first month of $4,000
Yeah.
with me doing it part-time.
Right.
And
Then you can kind of have that confidence that
Yeah.
if you're full time, you should technically be able to do it.
yeah, correct. And then keep in mind too, if you pulled a month where you made $4,000,
Morning, Daisy.
and you were doing it part-time while you were also working full-time, you should be also able to nest egg a lot of money to where you
True.
feel a lot more
Yeah.
comfortable about taking the shot. Leave on good terms.
Yes.
do
Do not burn a bridge.
do not burn bridges, and then just say, you know what, I'm going to take a swing. I'm
Yeah.
going to give it a year. I have a cushion to where I can handle a year of, you know, a little bit of turmoil if it doesn't go as way as I
Yeah.
hope. But so I hope that paints a picture of like
How
the
we
way I would
decided.
do it.
That's the approach we took.
Correct. Because so to
Yeah.
give you an idea, when we were doing it, we were probably about a month or two away from saying, you know what, I think we can do it and make this work based on like where we were at with the business
Yeah.
and
How much time we were putting into it.
but before we could actually like pull the trigger and say, you know what, I'm gonna step away, I got laid off,
Yeah.
which was a blessing in its own
It
way
was.
because then
It's like
I got a
kicked
severance
him out.
package and everything.
True.
And then I didn't feel bad for leaving them,
Yeah.
and I have no ill will towards
No.
the company either. Like, you know,
They're a great company to work for.
they were great to work for. You know, if push came to shove, I would want to go work for them again
Yeah.
if I could. So, you know, I don't want to do that. I like what
like
I'm doing
this.
here.
But
But
those are our tips.
yeah, and I hope
Or
that
how
answers
we-
your question. I
yeah.
hope that was useful.
If you need a different area advice, let us
And
know.
also, I guess that goes to saying, like, if you're a viewer and you have a question, feel
Yeah.
free to ask, and we'll make a topic out of it.
Yeah.
And we'll try to answer your questions. And
Because that's why
be
we do
prepared.
this channel. We really just want to, like, show people the ins and outs, the ebbs and flows of this business. And yeah, it's a good place to ask a question.
Yep. So first up, we have a baseball glove. This was shipped yesterday. It was a Rawlings Gold Co. baseball glove. Not great. I think we probably paid too much for it too, like $5, but sold
Okay.
for $17.99 plus
Yeah.
shipping. And I like selling baseball gloves, so
Easy
there
to
is that.
ship.
And it was a quick
So,
seller.
yeah.
So that was sold yesterday. Now on to
Today's.
This is a commemorative coin for the Wii Super Mario Galaxy. I thought it was cool, and I haven't seen
know.
one of these, but it's not very valuable. So it sold for $5.50 plus shipping, and it's
I was
easy to
glad,
ship.
like, our kids got to see it too, because it looks like it would be something collectible rare.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not.
We just hadn't seen it before.
you know, in the early garage sale times, you just kind of like pick up
Yes.
stuff,
Yeah.
and that's like below my threshold generally. But it was like just too cool to be like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to list it. I want to list it.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and
We
sell it to
love
somebody.
Mario.
$15.95 for this lot of Call of Duty. This is Advanced Warfare and Ghost. As a lot, $15.95 plus shipping. And I love seeing the repeat buyer, which means
Yeah.
that this is somebody we sell often,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of our video game stuff too. So next up, we have a lot of 2 Bibles. So this is the Warriors Bible. I picked this up at a local thrift store for $2 a piece, and it's a lot of 9 of them. So these are the
Well, we
first
have
2.
9. These are the first 2.
First
Yeah.
2 that sold,
To the
and
same buyer.
so $13.50 each. So they paid $27 plus shipping. So we're already in the profit on that lot.
Yep. And we
Any
still
other
have
ones? And we still have
7
7
left.
of them left. Yeah. So not too bad. Next up, I'm gonna hand this to you.
Okay.
We have a DVD player. It's this white, and it's got this little sequence. Is that what you
I
would call it?
know. It's some kind of design.
Pattern.
Just say that.
And it's got the remote.
Yeah.
This came with a TV as well that had a
Yeah.
similar sequence and pattern kind of thing to it. So they would go together, but
Right.
I was thinking like this would be difficult to ship together.
Yeah.
Like the TV and this DVD
Right.
player, it would just expand the package even further
Right.
and make it more complicated. And I did not want to do that, so I separated the 2.
And I appreciate that.
I think we paid 15. I think I paid
For the whole
15 for
thing.
everything, or like 12.50, or some weird number because it was on sale and it was
Yeah.
just sitting at a thrift store and nobody bought it.
Yeah.
And we sold this one for 45 plus
Just
shipping.
this.
And we have the TV.
Yeah.
That TV is listed for 200 plus shipping.
Oh
It
my
gets
gosh.
a ton of interest, and nobody's like,
Interesting.
yeah,
They're probably looking for one with a DVD player.
I don't know. So eventually it'll sell. It hasn't sold yet, but
Yes.
interesting stuff. Next up, bobblehead. These are always really good to look out for.
For
This
the
is
sports, like the local sports ones.
minor league team,
Yeah.
and this is for Caden Wallace.
think
We've had it
it's
for a
very
little bit, but that one sold for $24.99 plus shipping. I think he's wearing a cape. Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
like wearing a big cape.
Yep.
Um,
Fireflies.
Next up, we picked this up at a community garage sale.
Good morning, Norma. Thanks for joining us.
It was a lot of 4 of them that we picked up. One of
Strawberry
them wasn't
soda.
worth selling,
Okay.
so we paid
Oh
$1
yeah,
for
that
all.
was that Ariana Grande one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was something next, or I don't know,
Yeah, I
whatever her
don't know.
song is. But some of these like can be out of date. This was,
Yeah.
I think, the cheapest one to sell out of the 4, and this one sold for $18.99
So
plus
that is
shipping.
one good thing about like
No,
beauty.
free shipping.
Bath and Body Works discontinues certain fragrances. Well, once you find one you love, like, hello, this is the only way you can get it. So
Yep. So $18.95
check
free
'em.
shipping on that one.
Okay.
So not particularly great, but that was the cheapest one on
Yeah.
of the
And they were like
three
$1.
that were worth listing.
Whoop.
Woo,
Got it?
caught it. Picked this up on the weekend at a local thrift store for. I actually paid $2, which if I thought it was $2, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. Sold for $8.88 plus shipping. So
Yeah, that's not good.
making a few bucks, but not too much. Next up, this is what I love about this. So a person reached out about this club and was thinking, is that a
dent?
dent on the
Yeah.
club? And so I went down, I said, no, it's not a dent. Then he sent me a lowball offer, which I don't know what it is, but when people ask you questions, they seemingly always follow it
Yeah.
up with a lowball offer. Well, now that I got your attention,
Yeah.
would you take
Now
half?
that you've answered my question.
Would you take half? And then I countered, and I was only given so now with the new eBay discount rates on shipping, I know my shipping rates on my
Are
golf
low.
clubs are really low. So our golf clubs are going to probably start selling quite a bit more frequently.
Have enough boxes. So we're good.
And this is a TaylorMade Rocket Balls.
So
is
did
the
that
name.
person buy it?
Somebody else came in and paid full price.
Swooped in.
So the person that lowballed me asked the question, just did nothing but promote my item to the top of the
Well, look at
algorithm.
there.
So it all worked out.
It did.
Everybody's happy except
Everyone's
for
happy, except for the person that spent time asking the questions.
2 people are
They're
happy
gonna be
out
like,
of the 3.
why did you just take that down?
No, I think it sells items sold.
Oh, okay. Isn't that
So they
funny?
just see like,
You know, actually, I went to go purchase a book for the boys for school, and I had it in the cart because it was like buy 3 get 1 free. And I went all the way to order it. I placed the order, and then it showed like 1 was not free. I was like, wait, that's weird. And there was 1 still in the cart. Someone had swooped in and bought it.
yep.
Man, they took my free book. Okay, so what did we sell?
I'm convinced you're just not good at buying
Golly.
things. This is a digital
This is so
camera.
bad.
This is a Canon PowerShot A590IS. We picked this up.
Wisconsin.
Either at Wisconsin or we picked it up on the garage sale. I don't remember.
I don't
It's
know.
recent.
It's a blur.
I just listed it.
Yeah.
So it is a very recent find and a sell. I swear, I love these digital cameras.
Yeah.
That we can't keep them in our store
That's
whenever
good.
we get them.
Yep.
If they work and they're in good working condition, they fly off the shelf.
What is-
$59.95 plus shipping.
Yes, that's great.
And again, we would have probably paid like $5 for that.
Yeah. I think you love, like you just said, that you love cameras more than video games now.
Digital cameras.
Digital cameras.
Or Insta
Yeah,
cameras.
Fuji Instamax or whatever.
Well, it's less testing
Yeah.
than now this is a different example. So that like this
Blu-rays.
is a PS5 game.
Okay.
And
We
the
can't test
disc
that.
was super clean,
Yeah.
so I don't have to test it.
And we don't have a PS5. That's really the only machine we don't
we don't
have.
we don't have one of the Xbox. I don't even know what the new one's called. Xbox Series One X.
But they don't have different games.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
For the
they have
Xbox?
games specifically for that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have it.
I
But
haven't seen any games like that either.
this one sold for $13.99 plus shipping, and I didn't test it, and I think I'm in it for $1 or so.
Yep.
Next up, this is your clothing item, so I'm gonna give this to you. We've had it for a while.
Yeah, these are Liz Claiborne. That tells you how old it is. Sarah Crop mid-rise brand new with tag, and it's one of my early listings. So
Yeah, $18.95 plus shipping, did sell via promoted listing.
yeah, but hey, that's great. I probably, if I listed this today, wouldn't even price it at that. I would probably price it at $9.99.
Or 15, 12. She still tends to go on the high end.
Just on the new ones that I'm buying that I like the Rock Revival, Miss Me, those new ones.
Well, they sell though, so there's that. This is an item that we would never even look twice at now. We've had this for a long time. This is the Nostalgia brand. So the Nostalgia brand is just remaking old favorites that typically have to do with certain brands. So you'll see stuff like Coca-Cola. What is another one that they would do often? Like Pepsi, I think.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper, I don't know.
No, it's not just all drinks.
Oh, it was
stuff.
from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. So that was initially $50 from Hobby Lobby. So that would
Well,
alarm
not
me a little
usually.
bit.
If you know Hobby Lobby, like he doesn't ever go in there, but they always have sales
Yeah.
on. So like one week, everything's like on this aisle is 40% off. The next week, it's the next aisle, and then it goes right back to it. So this is probably always just gonna sell at 40% off of that price.
Just to be clear, life is better when you're not shopping at Hobby
Love
Lobby.
Hobby Lobby. It's a
We're
problem.
about to get one in our area, and she
yes.
is banned from the store.
I'm not.
I'm putting her face in the front and say, "Kick this lady out."
I'm not banned.
Yes,
I like Hobby Lobby.
I'm gonna say this lady steals.
No, I don't. You're a mess.
If you find her, call the cops.
You're ridiculous. Just to save $1, Aaron.
$14.95
me
plus
out.
shipping on that, and again, it would not be an item to sell.
Yeah.
Now, this is like keep in mind, it's because of the size.
Yeah.
How much room it's
Even
going to
if
take.
it was $1,
doesn't
we
sell
wouldn't
very
get it.
well.
All
and
those things.
Yeah, it's all just not good.
Bad
So,
buy. Bad buy.
so yeah, what's the plan for the day?
Shipping and listing.
Shipping and listing.
That's it.
Yeah, yesterday we kind of took a little bit of a.
I had planned. I told you my day was shipping and listing.
We had a coffee lunch date.
We had a date day.
Yeah, date day, and then we
was
did
fun.
list a little bit,
Yes.
and then
I listed.
it's kind of a date night
I
hangout.
got through like a whole bag of jeans that we got from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I was in a blanket.
Yeah. So yeah, it was not as productive on the business side, but it's one of those things to where we don't have the opportunity to not have kids at our house,
I know.
and so it was nice to take a break
It was
and
nice.
and enjoy.
And I
things a
did
little
not
bit.
expect it. It was a surprise.
Yeah.
So.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, thank
There
you.
you go.
Mother's Day week?
Yeah, no, it is now birthday week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's going to be 40 on Friday.
Yeah.
40 on Friday.
Yeah, so we got some listing to do.
Yes.
And hoping that we get more of our living room back because it's
Great.
still
That'd be
not
great.
there. We did get exciting news that we're going to have a sourcing opportunity on
Yes.
Friday.
Yep. My friend said that their church is having a silent auction.
Yeah. So,
But she said not to be like too excited about it because like for the business because they're trying to raise money for the youth, so not to expect super low prices. and she hopes that they have good things. So I don't know what to expect. Regardless, it'll be fun. And they're having tacos. So
Yeah.
good company, tacos, silent auction. I'm all in.
Yeah, so we'll
So,
see.
yes,
But
we're
if
excited.
anything, it'll be kind of like a date night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
All the dates.
Yeah, get your fill. It's about to be done when the kids get back.
All right, so we hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. And if you have any questions, if you have any topics you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yep, awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.